Morning sunshine. You're welcome to Enterprise Television, your daily dose of good vibes, great stories, and everything you need to kickstart your day with papers and a smile. I am Henry Igwebike, and we're live and ready to light up your morning. Joining us right here is Barrister Vance Ofeli, Barrister, Law Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister, and welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
All right, and just to let you know, we're starting off with our newspapers right now, and in a jiffy. After then would be our main conversation. But please do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Let's start off today with the Guardian newspaper, and straight up to our talking point for today, a scandal. And we have that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won't allow Akpabio to step aside, say senators. Barrister Vance Ofeli, the scandal is still written all over the life of Senator Godswill Akpabio, and it won't go away anytime soon. But senators, of course, working with their colleague, saying that the president would not allow Akpabio to step aside. Don't you think they are all being complicit?
What's the president's business in Akpabio's affair? You know, that needs to tell you that democracy have been messed up. Okay. They're saying the president will not allow. That means all through before now, the president has been the one giving Akpabio instruction. I mean, we know that already, how they passed the state of emergency declaration, rubber stamped it carelessly, and threw Rivers State into illegality. So the senators, they have the audacity to tell us that in the Natasha's case, with all the scandals, where Akpabio is supposed to step aside because you cannot be a judge in your own case. No more do that in Kasasua. You should not be a judge in your own case. But they are telling us now that the president will not allow him to step aside. Okay, is the president supporting the Senate president on the accusation of immorality and harassment? Okay, shouldn't the president be encouraging a fair play where, you know, he will step aside and have his name cleared and allow for investigation to kick in so that he can be either inculpated or exculpated or exonerated? But you see that our politics is a dangerous one. The president needs Akpabio for so many things because he knows that Akpabio have the capacity to absorb all wrongs and criticism and still be doing the wrong things. Okay, he needs him. And he needs him in a very selfish way, not to project Nigeria or project the aims and aspirations of the citizens, but to protect personal and selfish interests.
But that's not peculiar to us. Everywhere in the world, even in the United States of America, Donald Trump will do everything possible to ensure that the leader of the House is his ally, his buddy. So he could, of course, pass through whatever it is he wants to get through to the people. So don't you think, for good governance sake, just to ensure that the dividends of democracy gets to people, it's important that the president should do as much as he can.
Not in times of scandals like this, scandals of you know, harassment. The American law does not support that. When you, I mean, it's even, they call it the society for the women, because it's a society that frowns strongly against any kind of harassment, sexual or whatsoever, workplace, you know, domestic, gender-based harassment. It's a society that frowns heavily against it. So I do not think if this had happened in the United States, in fact, if that happened in the United States, Akpabio would have resigned, or the Senate president or whatever, Congress would have resigned, because he will be forced to resign, because the scandal is so huge that he needs to give way. Here, they're not even asking Akpabio to resign. They're even saying just step aside, you know, step down from there, let investigation happen, let everything, let's see, and clear your name, you know. But they are unable to do that. And the senators are telling us now, the audacity, that the president will not even allow it to happen. So we don't really have a democratic environment. Our environment is not democratic at all. Just because you need him to get other things passed, you will sacrifice the people's, you know, you will sacrifice that office itself, integrity of that office, and every other thing. You sacrifice and send it to the dogs just because you need him to rubber stamp every other decision you will take. The president ought to support that he stepped down, you know, to allow investigation to, you know, but we're not practicing that kind of democracy. We're not there. We're not there at all.
Wow. We're not there at all after so many years of trying and hoping that our democracy works. But let's get to the Vanguard newspaper and straight on to our talking point for today. Edu woes international investors. We have a rider there that Cardoso to investors. CBN strengthen processes to sustain confidence in the Nigerian economy. I do not know. We've analyzed this a dozen times here, right here on Enterprise Television, how that the duo of Cardoso and Edu are really not doing the job they should be doing in ensuring that the economy, you know, takes the right toll it should take. But every day they come to tell us that they are hoping to create an enabling environment for foreign direct investments to come in, but it's not working. Is it that they are oblivious to the fact that what they are doing is not working?
They keep hoping against hope. You understand? No matter the intellectual work on paper, the intellectual strategies and everything they put together to revive the economy, they'll keep hoping against hope. Because a country that have no electricity, it doesn't matter your intellection. It doesn't matter how good you are in, wooing investors and catalyzing them to get on board. Of course, they will promise you here and there, but when they look at your energy sector, it is energy that determines the future of an economy. So you all the Cardoso Edu strategy that hoping to. You keep hoping against hope. Because those you are talking to will be laughing at you. Just two questions they will ask you. Political stability and energy availability. You have failed already. They saw the way you were fighting with Dangote, who is your own indigenous investor. They saw the way your own agency, you know, how your agency held Dangote to the jugular. Then you're not asking a multinational to come in. Okay, you have no plan for that business, energy. You have no plan for most of the facilities that they may require to be able to do business here. You have no ease of doing business. You have messed up everything. Your exchange, foreign exchange is not, you know, your policies on foreign participation are having issues. They've seen how Emirates was stuck, could not repatriate funds and all that. Investors don't come like that.
And you think they can't take that risk? You think that there are no room for...
Not all of them. Not all of them will take the investors that can take that risk are the Chinese, the Indians, and the Lebanese. Because those ones have extractive mindsets. And when they are coming in, they are not coming in to better you. They are coming in to make profit, and profit, only profit. The few times you find a Japanese company do anything for a community is when they are forced to do so. They have no plan for CSR. They have no... When we're talking multinationals, we are not talking Indians, we are not talking Chinese, we are not talking Lebanese. We are saying an American company, for example. Okay, a British company, for example. Those were our mainstay before.
Yes.
As at the time they were here, the Chinese, the Lebanese, the Indians didn't have capacity. Well. They were in poverty. Yeah. As at the time those companies came here.
The Michelins, the
Dunlop, the Eleganzas, and all of them. When they were, these are British American companies, okay, that were doing business here, employed people, built estates, housing facilities. They came to stay. How many Indian companies, how many Lebanese companies have you seen building building some, or one of the communication giants in Nigeria? They have no single property. Everything is leased because they want to take a decision to just leave at any time. You understand? Those ones didn't come to stay even when they were making huge profit here. They still don't believe in this place. They still don't believe in this place. It was that same communication giant that made a projection of their profit when they came into Nigeria, of what they will make in a year 2 years projection. What they were supposed to make in it, they surpassed it by over 10 times. And their director left his country, South Africa, came here, and still living here till today. But even with that, they still don't believe in this place. Because they look at the stability in policy. As bad as Buhari government was, it still kept Nigeria at the verge of the remnant of his destruction. Okay, Tinubu came and upturned it. So you move from buying fuel from 190 to 200 to 800 to 900. So you see how unstable a country can be. It cannot happen anywhere in the world, in the first world nation. The price of goods will jump by almost 400%. It doesn't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen, not even stable, not anything. It can't be. Well, an investor that sees that may even have heart attack. Yes. So if I bring my money here, one day, overnight, I will have goods and services that can be reduced to nothing. That's what it means. It's too much risk. No, it's not what you can. Investors don't jump around like that. Before investors will come and invest, they look at the strain of your economy, the growth, the stability, how it impacts on business and politics. They will prune it. The Chinese are the ones that don't care about. They just see the opportunities. And you notice that most of those Chinese and Indian Lebanese companies that come around, they come around for natural resources. Yeah. Not really to do tight business. They just come to take what they buy over and export, just take them away. That's like what they come to do. That's why you cannot find them doing CSR or any other thing other than just. So that's not the kind of investment that will grow the economy. That's not the kind of investment even Cardoso and they are talking about. Not this Chinese thing, Lebanese thing. They're talking about companies that have capacity to turn around the economy. You understand? So they will keep failing because those companies cannot exist in an environment where energy is non-existent.
Now, while we talk about that, there's another story here that's very similar to the one we just discussed here. NLC to IMF delegation, your reforms inflict hunger, poverty on masses. Now, there's this viral video going around now on how that European countries, America, is trying as much as they can to keep Africa where it is. Look at the case of Burkina Faso, with all the man is doing that. There's this plot to really, take over the government and all. Now, the IMF, what do you really think? Should we trust the IMF as much as we are doing now? What have they really done anything good for Nigeria?
The IMF, they have an objective. They have an objective. It was through them that our naira was devalued to the point where it's no longer valuable. You understand? They issue very toxic economic advices, okay, which they know that they cannot adopt.
But don't you think they're doing it to protect their interests? Because over the years we've collected so much loans that we can't even pay. So maybe the advice is so that they can recoup back their...
To protect their interests, but they act as though they are providing solution to a problem. But when you look at it deeply, any solution that causes you to borrow, to keep borrowing, it's not a solution. Because it will keep you in debt. And once you are in debt, for as long as possible, you cannot be productive. It's like a man that have cancer and it's not treating it. It's not making any attempt to. The cancer cells are growing. They are spreading. Once the cancer cell spreads to the brain, that's the end. That's the end. Okay? So those advice don't really add up. We look at the advice from the fuel subsidy time. They were part of those who advised that should be removed.
Yes.
When it was removed, they started asking the government, why is the government selling? That if they import with this, why would they be selling it? They are selling below cost price. That they are still paying subsidy. Now they should remove it completely. Okay? Now, after everything, the thing landed at 900 plus. At the end of the day, they forget that when you are paying subsidy, it's part of servicing the public. There is no government that exists anywhere that will not service the, you have to service the public. Because the reason for that government is the public. So it's not, you don't say remove this. Subsidy must come in one way or the other. It must be there. So, but we heeded to that advice and see where we are now. We are not able to put anything together again. The whole country is messed up. Everywhere is messed up. It's difficult now to even provide economic solution to the Nigerian problem. Not only have things gone bad, you don't even have the energy to start to rebuild.
And nothing can be done to overhaul the situation.
Something can be done to overhaul the situation, but it requires serious sacrifice. It requires serious sacrifice. This government seems not to be doing that. Seems not to be aware of how to go about the whole thing. Okay? We must go back to a point where people can feed themselves. We must go back to that point where the government is able to invest heavily in agriculture and security. We must go back there. Security and agriculture. If you're able to put that, then you can have a yield in the next 5 years. Then from that yield, you can begin to rebuild. Take care of energy. Once you're able to take care of energy and there's now constant power supply, you are pushing it gradually. People will start to come out from poverty gradually. Because there's energy, there's food, food inflation has reduced, price is now normal and stabilized. The people are able to feed them. There will be employment because there will not be a value chain. Yes. People selling to others, selling to, you understand? Then you need to build back the variables that have been lost. From there, you can now project further what you intend to do, infrastructure and others. Okay? So let the people now be okay. But what we have now is a terrible situation because even in this hard time, the 70,000 naira NSC, whatever, not all states are paying it as we speak.
Yes.
So where are we going to start from? And even if they are all paying it, how many percent of Nigerians are in that bracket are employed by government? Whom are going to? The number of persons employed that are paid that money, is that enough to kickstart the economy? It's not. In fact, it even have a tendency to drive inflation further, cost inflation. Because cost inflation will usually come in when there is a feeling that people's income have been increased. Then the transporter will increase.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The market woman will increase. Everybody will begin to increase mindlessly. Because now there is a semblance of increment in welfare of the people. So people will start to increase, and that behavior will lead to cost inflation for the meantime. Then if the government is able to do every other thing we're talking about, the country can move forward. But as it is now, there's no forward movement whatsoever. We're just in one place.
All right, so while we continue to hope that we get out of that place and hopefully, kickstart the country. Finally, let's look at the Punch newspaper. INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC. There are no details about that, but we'd love to believe this is technologically driven. Possibly, there's the move for the APC is saying they are working with INEC to ensure that Nigerians in diaspora vote. And secondly, that we can vote without the PVC, which means there is an app, if it's possible, to just vote from your house or wherever you find yourself. But do you really see transparency?
Even if you are going to vote without PVC, there must be accreditation now. They must certify that you are a registered voter. Yes, if you are not a registered voter, so are they saying that everybody should jump on the app if it's going to be an app to just vote? Not everybody is eligible. Some people are not of age. Okay? Those who are of age cannot all jump on the portal. I don't think that is the... I think you have to be a registered voter before you... Like the NBA, the platform we use to vote at the NBA is online. You vote from your house, from anywhere you are with your phone. But you must be a registered member of NBA. Otherwise, everybody, the street people, everybody will come and vote. So you have to belong to a branch, a chapter of the NBA. You have to at least be on the database, okay? And you have to be a lawyer. Okay, so if we are going to vote without, because we don't have PVC for NBA elections, we don't. We just use our phones. You use your Supreme Court number. Every lawyer has a Supreme Court number, and that Supreme Court number is what we key in, and your name will appear. You see your name and everything. Then you start to check on the box. For all the candidates you are voting, you'll be on a straight line box. You just click on the ones you are voting and submit. And once you submit, it goes into the database and it counts against those persons whom you are. It counts for those persons. Yes, counts for those persons you have voted for, and we are watching it. So nobody is reading anything. We are seeing it at the screen. As the person who is leading on the screen. The moment it starts going down, we are seeing it. You know, so that should have been 8. So it's possible to actually vote without PVC. But all I know is that there's no way they will do. You have to be a registered voter. Otherwise, people from other countries will start to vote. Yes, very true. We have to establish sovereignty and franchise. So that has to be established. So I think it's a good thing to say that we are going to be voting without the PVC, meaning we are not going to have queues. We are not going to have ballot box, snatching of ballot boxes. All the perennial issues during the election will be de-escalated. So we just, vote from there. And that will give the system integrity. As long as we have strong firewalls, the INEC must invest in the best firewalls to secure the cyberspace on the day of voting. Yes, but someone said, just digression actually, Deji Adenyoju Esquire said that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not defeated in 2023 when he was not in control, who says that he would be defeated when he is the one conducting the election? So with the no PVC and the technology that will be embedded with it, do you still see transparency given what Deji had said? Yeah, you see the human factor too. Because even if you use firewalls, okay, people wrote those softwares. People wrote those software that the firewalls are using, and they know how to bypass it. It's people that wrote it. Even if those who wrote it tend to secure it, there are other persons with higher technological power that may break it, who were not even part of those who wrote it. So the human factor is there. I mean, the fact that you are using digital space does not mean they cannot be rigging. So how is it done in the United States? Because theirs is quite transparent. They still, theirs is come to the queue, they vote. Yes, like hard copy. Ballot boxes, ballot votes. Yes. Months before the time of the real election. So essential workers start to vote first. Okay. By post. Because on the day of election, they will be at work. Nurses, doctors, professionals, those essential workers and all that. There's a date where they start voting first. And but why is this in the United States? Also because they all have social security number. Okay. So just similar to what you talked about the NBA. Yes. There's a registered accreditation for everyone, which is the social security number. They have social security. Okay. And that social security is very, very important. There's nothing you will do in the US that when you get to that point, when they ask you social security, if you don't have it, that's where your journey ends. Even when you are filling things online, then sometimes they make provision for people who don't have it. People who are, like for the driver's license, for example. If you get to the social security number, if you have it, you impute it, you continue. If you don't have, they give you options. You have I-94. I-94 is for visitors. Okay. So you go and click on that option. You don't have the I-94, you have something closer. Maybe a veteran or something. You have those who came in for missions, who don't have, and they have something. They'll put all those options for you. That's because that everybody drives in the US. You can't actually live in the US if you don't drive, because the Uber is very expensive. You cannot rely. Uber is crazy. You can't even rely on it to live all through. So they make provision for all that. So it's easier for you to have use a social security number to operate, and they get it. While here, the NIN is not really a requirement in our election process. It's not the NIN is supposed to be the equivalent of social security. Many people don't even have that one. Some people have it, they don't know it because it's not. No strong national policy has been built around the NIN, except for when you want to get the international passport. That's why they ask you for the NIN, and maybe
or driver's license.
Yeah, maybe for in the bank.
Though now students, though, you want to write your JAMB, your YA.
Yeah, they're asking for it. Yeah, gradually.
When a child is born,
yeah,
it goes to,
yeah, gradually it's beginning to make sense. The NIN, yeah, people are taking it more serious because virtually everything now they're asking for it. They're asking for, and the more they include it in our activities, the stronger it becomes. At a point, it will now maybe represent your maybe voting number, voting identity. You understand? But yeah, let's keep up, having it where we, by the time we include it in our space to a point where it could be the main data we can even use to do the counting in the long run. So I think that is where we are going.
All right, let's just hope this works. Technology is there to make life easier. That ESA of the intention to allow that happen is there. We truly do hope that 2027 it would be one election that would be transparent, or possibly beat that of 1993 if it's ever possible with regards to transparency. That's all we have for today. We'd love to say thank you so very much, Barrister Vansufeli. And just to let you know, Barrister Vansufeli will be here to take us on our main conversation. Of course, we'll be joined by Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. When we return, opposition weakens as more PDP governors, senators eye the APC. It's still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
If you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The political landscape in Nigeria is witnessing significant realignments as the 2027 general elections approach. Reports indicate a growing trend of defections from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), involving governors, senators, and all the key political figures. On Wednesday, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori, his predecessor, and PDP's 2023 vice presidential candidate Ifeanyi Okowa, along with all party members in the state, officially defected to the All Progressive Congress (APC). This shift is attributed to internal crises within the PDP, including leadership disputes and factional divisions, which have eroded confidence in the party's stability and electoral viability. Notably, the PDP's inability to present a unified front has prompted some members to seek alignment with the APC, perceived as more cohesive and strategically positioned for the upcoming elections. The situation underscores the urgency for the PDP to address its internal challenges and re-establish itself as the formidable opposition force ahead of the 2027 polls. Stay with us this morning. We have Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid and Barrister Vansufeli. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for hanging on. We truly do appreciate you both. So yes, thank you. So let's start with you, Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. How do you feel right about now, especially knowing that you are a card-carrying member of the PDP? It's an institution that has been built for a very long time with lots of vigor, lots of strength, lots of resources. How do you feel right about now, knowing that this same political party is gradually etching away to nothing?
No, I will not agree with that. That the party is heading to nothing. Yes, it's painful. Nobody pray to lose any member of his party or any member of his family group. It's painful in that regard, but for me, it's not unexpected. The sign has been there all this while. So, and that's our the political way in Nigeria. There is no ideology, there is no principle, there is no morality, there is no integrity. That is the kind of politics we play. So I am not surprised that that happened yesterday in Delta State. If you notice, there have been rumors that the governor wants to defect. He has openly supported this administration. He has openly said that he will give his support to the president in 2027, even before he announced his campaign. He was not part of the meeting of the governors when they had their meeting. So the signs are there. So it's not new to me. It's not even surprising to me. But it's just only unfortunate that we don't have people with integrity in our system. We don't have people with a principle in our system. We have people who are only interested in maintaining their structure and power and political gains. Because nobody can tell me, even though I hear the Commissioner for Works and Information or whatever, Mr. Anagulu, saying that it's to give benefit to the people of Delta State. To align, and I wonder, must you be in a governing party before you can give benefit? You can bring benefit to your people, your state. For the past how many years they've been there in that PDP or where and they are or for about 2 or 3 years. Are they not doing anything to the people? Because they've been in opposition for 2 years or 3 now. Is it saying that they are not able to deliver anything? Are you saying the president must you are not getting your allocation because you belong to PDP? Are you saying you are not getting your IGR because you belong to other party? Are you saying you are not making the money to be able to develop your state? Or must it be the president that will come and attract and do development in your state? Is that what they are saying? Rather than come out and say, well, most people who are gullible, the gullible people will accept them, and they will say it's good for them because the state cannot be in opposition. It is an attempt to just fortify their political gain towards 2027. They are looking for a way to make it easy for themselves to win the election in 2027. That's what they are doing. And some of them, there are so many factors, and some of them are looking for a way to have their sins forgiven, because we are all aware that they said once you join APC, your sins are forgiven. You will see that the allegation or the invitation being sent to the former governor, the vice presidential candidate of the PDP in the last election, will cease now or will reduce, and naturally and eventually it will die naturally. That is what you see now. So that is the essence. The essence is to align and get benefits for their personal political gain, not for the people of Delta State. It's not about politics. It's not about gain to the people. It's about politics. It's unfortunate anyway. I am not surprised about it. I'm only disappointed that it's happening, and that does not mean the end of the party. Yeah, the party may not win an election. Does not mean the end of the party. The people in power today, they were in opposition for how many years? Do they mean they do not exist? The president of today was the one man standing in over how many years ruling, or even before then, he was the only person standing at that time before other people joined him. So it's not abnormal. Mr. Peter Obi contested election under the Labour Party in the last election. He has no sitting governor at that time. He was able to get votes. So it may be difficult for them for the party to win the election. It may be difficult for them to get the current president on seat. But that does not mean that the party is gone. It's not. Even if the party is gone, let's even assume the party is gone. Is it abnormal? No party will stay forever. Even the APC, who are at the top point, become like this, and people will be talking about why is APC like this. Let them leave power. Let them by chance just lose this opportunity, and you will see that there won't be anything like that again. Right. You see, when people talk about there's a problem in the party, that's why we're moving. You as a governor, you as a senator, you as a major stakeholder, you as a former vice presidential candidate, what were your efforts to solve the problem? Nothing. They fold their arms, looking for a way out of it. So if you are talking about the problems, who created the problem? Why are you not also looking for solution to the problem? The vice presidential candidate of the Mr. Dr. Okowa was one of the reasons why the party is where it is today. The
All
same
right,
Mr. Okowa is now off to APC. Because if that ticket had been given to Governor Wike then, those crises may not even be like this. Because the effect of this the crisis you are seeing in this party, majority are handiworks of Mr. Wike. He's the one putting fire everywhere to ensure that there is no stability.
All right,
So,
Barrister, just before we get into
who can compromise,
yes,
who are ready to for their own benefit, you will see this kind of thing. It will be easy for them to be used. That's what we are seeing today. So no.
All right, I think we're having a little bit of a glitch there.
Instability in the party. What were your?
All right, thank you so very much. Just before we get into the internal crisis with the PDP, Barrister Vansufeli, Deltans right now are very divided on what's happening to the government in Delta State. But of course, if we get into history, this is not the first time. In 1951, 20 members of the NCNC defected for obvious reasons. So it is not new. Let's have that stated. But coming from Delta State, what's your take on this? I know there are lots of other internal issues beyond just a party problem. What do you think is the problem?
Well, I think the defection is just a defection for convenience, okay? Those who sacrifice for that political party since inception, Delta State have been in PDP. Since the beginning of the Fourth Republic, there was no time any political party have tried and succeeded in even winning councillorship elections. The only time they had other parties winning 1 or 2 seats, well, you had Zikowa and one other political party, which is a minute thing, which was also orchestrated from people in the PDP, you understand, just to witch hunt. Well, PDP has originally been, Delta State has originally been a PDP state, given that it's from PDP that it grew and took all its fangs. And now it has gotten to the point where certain leaders have emerged who are not ready to work hard to put the party, to make the party to grow as much as it should grow.
Now, when you say certain leaders, you're saying
the governor, yes. The governor Sheriff Oborowori, Sheriff Oborowori, the past former governor Ifeanyi Okowa, the commissioners, including Charles Anyango that is talking. Charles Anyango is my friend. When I was fighting the state government to establish the road that linked my community to neighboring community, he was the commissioner for information then. He was the one haunting me with the governor, with Okowa. I was nearly killed in Asaba. He and they orchestrated that. Today, he's the commissioner for works. I have called him on several occasions to come and look into that same road. They have not been able to do it. Now he's all over the place saying that the reason they defected is so that they'll be able to bring development. Which development have they brought to Delta State? There's no development. We only praise the governor for the bridge, the Ebo Bridge, that leads to Ogwashuku to Uweli. That is the Asaba-Uweli Expressway. We had that. Then some bridges and work that's going on in Warri and all that, which we have praised the governor for because he's actually doing what he should do in that regard. But I do not think that it is a defection from PDP to APC that will solidify whatever he has done or is doing. So that excuse is unfounded. So because I heard Ayago yesterday saying for people to bring development to the people, you took a decision without the people's input. You went to you had a closed door meeting without the people's input or whatever. You came out and you say you are taking a decision for the people. Which people? Which people? So this is a selfish decision they have taken. This is the weakest decision I've ever seen. If you have problem in your house, you don't abandon your house and then go join another family and start living with them. They will throw you out. They will still throw you out. If there's problem in PDP, what I expect from its leaders is to come together, identify the problem, work out strategies and ways to resolve the problem, bounce back and get stronger for the next election.
But we can't do all of this. You know, you talked about marriage of convenience here. We can't do all of this when the henchman Okowa has issues. He's been bombarded the left, right, and center with EFCC and so. Don't you think that could be the remote reason why all of this is
Okowa having ruined Delta State? He took the Commonwealth of Delta State join forces with Atiku to pursue an elephant project so that he can become the vice president of Nigeria against his own party's decision. They had the Asaba declaration where they all agreed on what to do.
And what was it?
He pulled out from that. You understand?
Yes.
He pulled out from that agreement and joined forces with Atiku. They had agreed that power should come to the south.
Okay.
You understand? The power should come to the south. And the meeting where they had that agreement with Akeredolu and now later Akeredolu said, and all that, they had that meeting and all agreed that power should come to the south. So the PDP had already zoned it to the south. While that was ongoing, he went and met forces with a northerner to go contest the same presidency. And that meeting was held in Asaba. He was the host governor. So is that the kind of person that now he ran into trouble after he took so much loan for that useless project that failed, collapsed on him. And EFCC went after him. Now he has been looking for an escape route since. He's been negotiating, going up and down, looking for how to pull out. The APC saw that weakness and they now called him and negotiated with him to give him a safe haven, to give him soft landing, so that he's able to hold the governor who used to be his protege and the commissioners who are all loyal to him, to pull them all. That's what happened. That's just what happened. I'm just telling you. That is exactly what happened. It's for convenience. It's for selfishness. The people of Delta State does not endorse this. They have no hand in what has happened. It is Okowa's imagination and his cohorts. Criminally emptying the state treasury, turning around to find safety, mortgaging the future of the state to the... What is the attraction in APC that is pulling a whole state? Not just the governor, all the commissioners, all the
local government chairman,
councillors, local government chairman, the house members, all of them. What has APC done in this country since they got into power that has brought this attraction that everybody, because according to them, say we want to join the president. What is the president doing? There's no development. There's nothing, no public health care, nothing. The government have not done anything. But just because they have to secure the next phase of their political career, they don't mind throw the people into the bin and all that, throw the people under the bus, double cross them, turn around, go and just get what they want. That's exactly what's going on. There is nothing like want to come to the center. Which center? Is the federal government owning Delta State? All the resources and monuments and allocation and all that comes to Delta State, like every other state. Okay, so the state can actually develop on its own without the center.
All right.
Because it's independent.
Yes. Yeah, so while
they are lying.
Yeah, so while we'll talk about that, I just sincerely hope that we have more than enough time, because we're taking a look at the legal implications of some of this. Importantly, both of you are lawyers and you understand the rules of engagement here. Barrister, I would love you to speak to what your colleague had said, and you said allegedly on that particular case. So is it that you do not agree with what he said, that Okowa actually, siphoned the resources of Delta State for his selfish interest, running as the vice president with Atiku Abubakar?
No, it's not about not agreeing with him. It has not been confirmed. No judgment has been given to that effect. That's why the word allegedly should be used. That's why I put it in that manner. It is an investigation. Tomorrow they will tell you, the same people who are pursuing him will tell you where is the evidence. When you allege them that he was made to come because of that, they will tell you, where did you see the evidence? Who told you he embezzled any money? Who told you he was corrupt? They will ask those questions. You can see that is the kind of thing we are playing. We are setting. You will see people who are instigating the invitation, people who are supporting those who instigating the invitation, who have been saying that the man is corrupt. The man is a thief. The man is this and that. The same people today now will be defending the man. They will be telling the man he's been went hunt. He's been this and that. So that is the kind of system. So that's why I say allegedly, not because I don't know. I have no evidence as to whether or not that is true or it's not true. But we have that allegation against him that has been made. But as long as there is no any judgment yet, there's not any conviction yet. We can't say that he actually took the money or he actually stole the money. That is the point. Right. And let me also say that look, the Anebu is still he's holding two positions now. He's a Minister of Work and Minister of Commissioner for Work and Information as well. He's holding two positions in that capacity, and he's become a proper politician now. He speaks. He was one of the spokespersons of the president of the presidential campaign team in that election, and he said, what he said. So many things he said against this government. So you can see those who believe and trust these politicians and who go and fight and kill themselves because of because they are supporting one party or one candidate. You can see some people have been killed just because of these people before the last election or even after the last election. These same people that they were fighting themselves over are now in the same camp. Wike was angry because he was not choosing, and the Okowa was choosing instead. The same Wike has congratulated Okowa for coming to APC. So you can see, I'm just saying this for those who are always fighting and fighting other people, even their friends and family, because of support for one politician or the other.
So, let's please get into the legal implication of what we have here. Our Electoral Act is neither here nor there. No concise information on defection and the implication therein. But I would love you to speak to the legal implication of what we have right here.
The only position that has no concise implication is governor. The governor, there is no any restriction as to whether or not he can defect. Governor can defect without any consequences. But the members of the House of Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Rep, they can only defect if they can establish that there's a division in their party. This division we are talking about must be national. I'm very sure today there is crisis in PDP, but there is no division because there are no two executives. We have only one. The only position that's been disputed is the secretary. That does not mean that secretary is overall it's a division in the party. There is no division. But unfortunately, you see, as it is today now, I'm not even sure there are people who can even pursue litigation against the House of Assembly and the what's it called, and the Senate or the Rep in Delta State today, because for you to the governor is moving with them, who will likely bankroll it if they want to do it. The other strong politicians. Remember, the former governor too, apart from the Okowa, the one before Okowa, their godfather. Remember, he's also in APC now. Yes. So they are out there. So I don't know whether those who remain have the capacity or the muscle to pursue litigation against the House of Assembly member, Senate member, and the House of Rep. Or probably maybe they are still waiting to get more evidence, because you see them now on camera jubilating and saying, even they are being congratulated by the APC member for being their member. If tomorrow now there's a case against them, these same people will come and say they never defected, they were never a member, they were not part of us. So that's that kind of. And I'm not even aware. And Supreme Court is one of the people that are causing this problem. I'm not aware. If anybody is aware, you can educate me. I've not seen any provision of the Constitution that gave us the highlight or condition or criteria for you to for when you defect, what you are supposed to do. Whether you are supposed to register at your zone, you are supposed to register at society. There is no provision to that effect in our law. Even party constitution, they don't have it. So I don't know where the court get their own position that for you to defect, you must have a written letter to your local government. You must have done this, do that. I don't know where they get it. It's not in our law that I know. And that's why I say, if you know, please educate me. Anybody that I'm ready to learn in that regard. But I have searched all our law, electoral law, constitution. There is nowhere where it is stated. The only way what is stated is that a member must be registered. There must be a register of member. The register of member, that's what they say. They didn't say when you defect, your name, for that defect to be effective, your name must also first of all be. You must first of all go and register at your local level or whichever level. So for me, it's unfortunate that we have our law. The difficulty of enforcing the law is the reason why they are doing this way. I will not be surprised if I didn't see any case against those people in court in Delta State, because they may not, like those the remainders of the people in PDP today, they may not in Delta State, because they move in full force. The former governor, the former governor, the former senator, Rep, House of Assembly, the current one, the commissioner, governors, all of them. So people that remain, I don't know whether they will be able to have the capacity to even pursue any litigation against them. The national body too. I don't know whether they will be interested in doing that because there are a lot of controversy. They've created that O, so that whatever they are doing, nobody will be able to challenge that. And that's the plan. Yes. So for me, it is not. What I know is that it's not about people. It's about themselves. And anybody who's deceiving himself and saying they are doing this for the people, it's just a political statement. As far as I'm concerned, it's just like my Sir Evan said, it's just a political confidence.
All right.
Movement of confidence.
Yes. That's all right. Thank you so very much, Barrister. This is very scary. You know, the pool, the move is scary for anyone. But of course, we talked about litigation and all. Do you think whoever it is that's going to, start up this would have the goods to want to go against this force?
Yes, there's a need for litigation. But the litigation can only affect the State House of Assembly because they are the ones whom the Constitution directly impugn that penalty on when they defect without establishing that there is rancor, there is discord in the political party from the National Working Committee such that the party is unable to function and they are unable to function. In this case, the PDP is not having, there's no division in the PDP. They may have pockets of crisis here and there, but it's not from the center down to the bottom. You understand? So there is no visible conflict or dispute or discord in the party that should have warranted, a defection. So they have a case to answer. There's a prima facie case already established. So I call on the National Working Committee of the party, that's at the federal and the center, because the remnants of what is left in the PDP in the Delta State, they will not be able to pursue anything. I know them very well. Once the governor is moving, and most of what they do in PDP in Delta State is politics of hand to mouth, politics of what to eat. And when you have a congregant of people without principles, what they know is what to eat. You will always find this kind of mess around. They don't accommodate radicals, okay, in that political party. People like us, we are decent. Even when we mingle, they make sure that there are things they say they won't want us to do. There are things that they do they won't want us to do. Because on several occasions, I've gone to court. I've taken the governor to court, the previous governor to court. Now, this governor seems to be giving a semblance of good governance, a semblance of it, both in his area, my own area, because the governor that came from Delta North, Okoa, abandoned Ndokwa, didn't do anything. Our fear is that since power was leaving Ndokwa, it's going to come back in Ndokwa 16 years after, because it has to go round again. And it's going to come back 16. So I called on him and pleaded. And he heeded the call. He's doing some things in my part. If he had stayed away, nobody would really, because Okowa did nothing.
Nothing?
In Ndokwa, you can ask people on Delta State.
Because we've seen a plethora of
No. Yeah, if you are from the state, you will know that what I'm saying. In Ndokwa land is what I'm saying. We are the second largest in Delta State. We are the second largest in oil production. We have the highest, production of gas in the whole of West Africa. And Ndokwa is Okpa. Okay, so when you say Delta State get 13% derivation and all that, it's Ndokwa that is engineering that. Okay, so but when you start to do project without citing anyone in that, that's what Okowa did. Is what I'm telling you, that we had to take him to court. You understand? To spread development and to send another bill to the State House of Assembly for approval and instruction for approval of funds for projects in that area. That's what we did. You understand? But what he does was just but this one is giving us a semblance of that. He's making development a little bit even and spreading it. So it's even the reason we have not even strike. You understand? This defection is just, for me, a distraction, a different thing entirely, which is party politics. Now, which is, for whatever reason best known to them, is to secure their whatever it is. I am calling that the party, you know, institute a case, litigation against the State House member, because
That's if the
it's a
party is
State
still
House
in
of
existence.
Assembly.
If the party in Delta State is still in existence.
It's still, even if it's not in existence in Delta, it's in existence at the center.
Okay. So the center can do it on behalf of the state.
Of course, if you are aggrieved, if you are aggrieved in a political party, you will take the necessary steps to make sure that those who have wronged the party, you know, are penalized.
Sorry? Yes.
I said, I'm even saying that it's only the national legal advisor that can even file case or defend case on behalf of the party.
Yes.
It's the one that can assign anybody.
Yes,
The,
that is why.
the legal advisor of the state
Yes.
cannot on his own institute action against. Although they are trying to change that narration against the law in different states. When similar case happen, the court is saying that the state have the right to decide the state ESCO. They have the right to on their own institute action. I don't know where they will get the mandate from when the conscience of the party is clear that legal advisor is the only person that determines which case to defect.
Yes, that is why I'm actually calling on the party, because
So,
if you are outside the party, you cannot bring such action.
It's politics.
Yes, that is why I'm calling on the party to institute that action,
You cannot.
because you cannot do it outside the party. The party,
It does not only affect the House of Assembly. It also affects the Senate members and the House of Rep members who are involved in it. But
Yes.
I think the party will be this time
Yes.
around. They will let their they will be cautious. They will wait for them to settle down before even if any action is going to be taken. Otherwise, they will not turn around and say no, we are not defected.
The-
We can see what happened in University.
the senator representing my constituency, Delta North, had defected
Since a very long time.
a month ago,
Yes.
a month or so ago before this.
before
you
this.
understand? So he too is affected, you know, and this action must be holistic against them, because if you don't